Welcome to 13 Weeks to Mindfulness by True Path. This is a 13-week series that helps you become organically mindful in your daily life. We start by teaching you what mindfulness is, which is basically just paying attention on purpose. Instead of being off into the future or into the past, you're here, you're present, you're doing what you're doing, you're living, you're experiencing. And it's a cool thing. 13 weeks in, hopefully you start to become organically mindful, making it a habit in your daily life. And when you do, it's an amazing thing. So last week we talked about slowing down. Now, slowing down, it's a tough one for us because how we're programmed and conditioned from day one, it's the go, go, go. So learning to slow down is an important thing, because then you can start to do things at 100%. You can start to focus in instead of multitasking with, 3 to 5 different things and doing them, okay. You're now doing one thing at a time and you're focusing in on it and you're being mindful and you're doing it at 100%. And so you're doing it more efficiently and effectively. This week, well, before I go on to that, so I'm not sure where you're watching this from, but you can always catch us on truepathplanner.com/13. That's going to have all 13 weeks of this series, including the links about what I'm about to talk about, which will have exercises, articles, and all the other information. So this week is an interesting one. This is a tough one for all of us. It is lean into discomfort. All right. So that's the opposite of what our, the nature tells us to do. We always want to avoid discomfort. We love our comfort zones, right? Comfort zones are the best. It's usually where we hang out. It's just natural for us. But unfortunately, it's not where we should be. And I have a little diagram, very simple. It's vertical, by the way. No. So this is our comfort zone, and this is where the magic happens. And here's how this works. So this is where we live most of the time. This is us just going through our daily lives, our normal habits that just take us, on autopilot. So to become mindful, you want to do something different. Like we did routines. We changed up a routine a couple weeks ago, and that's where you start to do this little transition here. And this is where the discomfort comes in, because once you get to here, if you're trying to develop a new habit or you're trying to, change an old one, this is where the old one is and this is where the new one is. Once you get here, it's an amazing thing. But it's this transitional part that's tough. And that's where a lot of people, lose when they're trying to do what they're trying to do. So an example, for me, for me, it's about an 8 to 12 day sort of transition. When you start to do something new, it's uncomfortable. It's different. And it takes mindfulness. You have to pay attention to what you're doing in order to do it, because otherwise you're just going to hang out here. So you're trying to develop this new habit. And this little period right here, this is the transitional part that's going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable. So you want to lean into that. And the reason you're doing that is because you're learning. Why is this uncomfortable? This is the cool thing. If you don't lean into this discomfort and you avoid it, or you want to get rid of it, you're going to end up back in the comfort zone and you're not going to get to this place, which is where you want to be, the new you, right? So this is that sort of transition spot. For me, it's about an 8 to 10, maybe 12 day sort of period for me. I just know this because I've done it so many times and I've paid attention to it. This is the point of this. You're paying attention to your mind and your body as you're doing this transition. And you're asking, why am I feeling this way? Why is this going this way? So 8 to 12 days for me is that sort of uphill climb where things are hard, things are difficult if I'm trying to do something new. Once I get to that point, though, then it starts to, get easier and it starts to become my new normal. Once this becomes your new normal, you'll look back at the old habit that you were doing. You'll be like, man, why was I doing that? So this is the area, this whole transition from here to here is the discomfort. And so when you lean into that and you ask why, and you understand and you learn, it's an amazing thing. So this week we are leaning into our discomfort. So it says, pick something that is uncomfortable and lean into it. We love to avoid things that are uncomfortable, but most of the time we are just putting off the inevitable and making it worse. Instead of avoiding, lean into it. lean into the feeling behind it, and ask, why is this uncomfortable? Asking why can help you overcome not only the current situation, but future ones as well. And that's kind of what I was talking about. Is it the first time you do it, it's really hard. It's a whole process. And then the more you do it, the easier it gets. And there's not just doing habits, but there might be conversations in your life that you need to have. And a lot of times we want to avoid them because they're tough conversations. Here's the problem. It's an inevitable conversation. You're going to have it at some point. So why would you have that just hanging on your back? Get it done. Just do it. Just like I love to say, be like Nike and just do it. And if you do just jump and have that conversation, you're hitting it head on. And when you're doing this and you're in that process, understand that you're learning about yourself and you're advancing yourself. You're progressing. You're not staying here in this comfort zone where nothing grows. So this week, pick something, whether it's a conversation, whether it's a new habit that you want to develop or an old one that you want to kind of get rid of. Over here, whatever day it is, put in where you're going to do it, what it's going to be. If you need to remind yourself, we've been using the alarm, for a lot of different reasons. You can do that again. If it's a conversation you have to have with somebody, set your alarm and just understand that once that alarm goes off, it's time to do it. So write down here, what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And then obviously on the day, the True Path day, today I will mindfully and pick out what it is. And obviously if it's a habit that you are, trying to develop, it's going to be the same thing each day. But remember, lean into it. That's how you learn, by understanding why, not just, going through it and grinning and bearing it, but really learning, why is this happening? Why am I feeling this way? That's how you learn and grow. Okay. So enjoy this week. Although sometimes it can be a tough one to learn how to lean into your discomfort. The cool thing is once you do it the first time, the second time's a little bit easier. The third time's even easier. And then it just becomes something you do and you're consistently growing in your life. All right. So have an amazing week and I'll see you next week. And again, if you're viewing this, I don't know where you're viewing it, truepathplanner.com/13. You can see all 13 weeks, including the links on the bottom to about what we talked about. All right. Have a good one.